What's up, everybody? Big Hurt, getting down fresh out. You tuned into another edition of Prison Talk, and I'm here with the homie Wes Watson from Diego, and here to answer some questions because you guys always ask me questions, but I would like to give you a better answer from somebody who has a better perspective. So, Wes, man, we get people asking us all the time, guys who are curious about what are the politics for a white guy going into the California state penal system.
I mean, the politics are endless. I mean, it's you're not going to use a certain set of bars. You're going to walk a certain path. You're going to use a certain set of showers, a certain shitter. There's everything split up. It's the whites, the paisas, and the Southsiders on one side. It's the blacks and the others on the other. Mm-hmm. And as a white dude, you're going to work out every day. You're going to be at every movement. Anytime the door opens, you're going out of it. And you're going to definitely just be putting in work. You're going to put in work for your people, and work means you're going to do yard cleanup. If someone has to get beat up because they're fucking up on a drug debt, if someone has to get removed because they're a chomo and they have to get booked, I mean, you're going to participate. There is no way around it. So, I mean, just the politics in general are never ending. I mean, it's going to rule your life.
And a lot of guys say, well, when we talked about briefly earlier about showing up and showing your paperwork, man. Can you explain what that means? Because a lot of people, they get somewhere, they're thinking, oh, you show up somewhere and, oh man, I'll get my paperwork later or blah 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 blah. I mean, how serious is it to have your paperwork when you show up on a yard?
I mean, okay, level 4 yard, you better show up with your paperwork. You better have that shit hooped. You better produce when you show up. You're not going to say, hey, I just transpacked, I came from this place, it's coming with me. I mean, it's not going to happen. Your paperwork's your driver's license. This is speaking for you. This is telling your past and who you are in the system. And so, if you're proud of that like I am, I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to come up and I'm going to come talk to the boss. I'm going to come, who's ever running the yard, who's got the keys, and I'm gonna produce my paperwork right off the bat. I'm gonna go fucking retrieve it the second I get there. I'm not gonna have that bullshit excuse of, oh, it's in my property, it's coming, all that shit. But the one thing I forgot to tell you about the politics is on a level 4 yard, on some level 3 yards, there's a thing called a no hands policy between white guys. You can't punch him. If you want a fucking problem with him, you have to stab him. And there is no fucking way around it. Mm-hmm. So, one time, and this goes for cops, you're carrying a piece, it's Mando that you and your cellie, in every cell, every white cell, have a piece on them. You can't get caught with that. If you're going to get caught with it, you have to use it. How fucked up is that? That is a fucking heavy-ass burden. And it usually falls on some dude who just is the weaker of the bunch. And his cellie's telling him, hey, you're holding a strap.
And as far as, are there any instances where you have any interaction between, let's say, a white guy and a black guy, or a white guy and, like, say, somebody, an other or something like that? Because, I know in the feds, they have politics, but not like that, because you might have a white guy in there teaching real estate or business or something like that class, or, you might have certain instances where it's not as serious, but, like, I know in the state it's different.
I mean, the only time you're going to intermingle, like, if I see it happening, I'm going to fucking just ask you, do you know what he's here for? If a white dude's talking to a black dude, I'm going to say, you know what your friend's here for, the guy you're talking to? And he's going to say, oh, he told me he was here for this. And then I'm going to call him over to the bunk. And I'm going to pull out my cell phone. I'm going to say, I'm going to show him. Is that what he's here for? This is what he's here for. This is the friend you want to talk to. But, I mean, in all reality, you're only going to really intermingle if you work in a chow hall with them, if you go to the law library or anything like that. Most of the OG black dudes that I know, a lot of cool-ass motherfuckers, Bone from the 60s, I mean, Flip from Crenshaw Mafia. I mean, these dudes, they've been down a long-ass time, and these are great dudes. And these are the dudes who a white boys get down, and they'll produce the paperwork. They'll say, hey, look it, what's up? Like, this is what I'm here for. I just want to show you that I'm on the level. And, some other people may not be, And so that's why we keep it like that, because our people, we can't have certain crimes. When you roll up with your paperwork, I'm going to check for certain codes and certain arrests and shit, and make sure that you didn't commit any of these crimes. And if you did, you're fucked.
And for those who might be curious, as far as I know, there's certain people who aren't tolerated. Would you mind elaborating to a degree, like who is like automatic you can't be on the yard?
Off the bat, a child molester. Off the bat, a rapist, a child molester off the bat, you're getting trademarked. That face has got to show that who they are, and it's just what's gonna happen. I mean, I've been on them yards where the dude's been there for years. He didn't check in to Megan's Law when he was out, so they couldn't find him on the paperwork. But all of a sudden, the cops drop a kite on the dude, and it shows that the dude is a chomo, and guess what? He's your celly. So guess what? You got to handle it.
Got to roll him.
How tough is that? All of a sudden you're chilling one day, the next day now you got to book this dude because he's a piece of shit, and you were just about to get out. You did your time right, and now you just caught an extra 10, if not a life sentence. Are you really about that life at that point?
Yeah.
A lot of dudes will lock it up, but I mean the point is a lot of them don't, and they're back there. I mean, much respect to them, but they're back there fucking. It's a rough life. So don't go get that fucking DUI that gets you there, that turns into this. Don't go get in that bar fight that gets you to prison that turns into a life sentence. Because I've seen it happen a million fucking times.
And what about guys who are interracial? We got a lot of good questions about that. Like guys who are mixed race. I mean, what?
Well, the Southsiders will take anybody. Southsiders will take a black. Southsiders will take an Asian. Southsiders will take anybody. You can roll Southside. Anybody can. They're usually gonna be from a hood that is in LA. That I've seen full-on blacks that run with the Mexican hood. The thing is with that, we don't fuck with them. We fuck with Southsiders. We can eat with them. We can play ball with them. We can hit the bars with them. But we can't fuck with him. So even though he is a Southsider, he's still an African American. And a white dude cannot eat with him, cannot drink with him, cannot use the shower with him, cannot use the bars or play basketball with him. Now that's a confusing point because most new people would be like, no, but he's a Southsider. I'm like, no, he's black. You can't fuck with him. And it's a lot of that stuff is just made out of for safety purposes, because we all have to be accountable for our own people. And in some of these level 2s, I would always have the keys because I'm dropping from higher levels. I've been down 5, 7, 8 years at this point that I'm at a level 2 and I have low enough points. So now I'm definitely going to be the one calling the shots. These are newer dudes and everybody's trying to intermingle. The blacks want to gamble with the whites, but we can't. And so I'm just always having to push the line. And everyone's like, man, it's not that big a deal until something bad happens. Everybody in that motherfucker looks like the nicest dude until it's about to crack. And then you see their face and you're like, oh shit, I know what you're here for. You're a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
And once they're turned on and once shit's about to crack, you see who everyone is and why they're there.
And what would you say are the 3 major things that you see people get caught up for in there? I know I always tell
It's
people.
dope.
Okay.
It's dope. Every problem's coming from the dope. I was in the shoe, and they were in my celly, and the white boy who had the back right there. They were fishing a rig and some heroin. They were fishing it from one cell to another, and he's pulling it all quick as the cop's running after the envelope, and it slaps against the wall, and the cop fucking hits it and grabs it, and he's like, he looks in it, and my celly's all, oh, let me get my mail, bro, and he's high as shit, and I'm like, you motherfucking idiots, and then the cop opens it. It's a rig. A homemade rig. These motherfuckers will make a needle out of anything. I don't even know how they're that smart. But they'll make an injection needle out of anything. I do not know how they do it. They're fucking crazy.
Shit.
But anyways, they get caught with the dope and they throw us all in the shower for like 3 fucking days. And in the shoe, the showers are cages. So they throw all of us in individual showers. Me and my celly and him and his celly, because they want someone to snitch. And nobody says nothing. We sit back there for like 4 days in the showers. And then we end up just going back to our cells. But he got a trafficking charge, and then he got a possession charge.
Wow.
From it being on a fishing line from cell to cell.
Tracking for basically trying to transport.
And it turned into a big ass ordeal. I mean, they all caught more time. We were already in the shoot.
Yeah.
So I mean, they just these dudes don't care, man. They don't fucking care. But they do. The dude will cry about his kid, and then I looked him up right now, and he had just paroled from the Bay. And then
Had just got out and went right back.
just got out, and then now his next case, he was in Santa Barbara County Jail with the biggest in-house bust ever. He had the phones, he had the dope, he had the Adderall crushed up, he had the black, he had the white. I'm like, dude, weren't you crying about your kid? Make these changes, motherfucker.
Wow.
You missed your son. Make these fucking changes. The dude did my leg tats, man. He's a good-ass motherfucker.
Wow. Hey, y'all. Well, there you got it, man. I mean, you guys asked a question. I got the answer for you. And make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, man. Big Hurt getting down with Wes Watson from Diego.
Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.